प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः।
ओम प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः. On Saturday, we completed reading the Shankara's introductory commentary and then read the first shloka of the Gita. Let us recapitulate the salient points made by Shankaracharya. The first point he has made is that the Lord, who is the creator of this world, is also interested in keeping the world going on for some time. And for that purpose, he created certain persons, Prajapatis, and taught them the Pravrutti Lakshana Dharma, the Dharma which is of the nature of outside activity. But that itself is not sufficient for keeping the world going, though it is necessary as a part. So he created some other people and taught them the Nivrutti Lakshana Dharma, the Dharma which teaches to go in and in till you reach the reality. And these two together are in the Vedas, and they are both together sufficient for keeping the world going. Then next point he makes is that after a lapse of a great time, the irreligion prevails over religion, and religion goes down, the religion preponderates, and such a time, the only person who can save the real religion is that Lord himself. And so he takes up incarnation. He appears as if he has become a man. So he did appear. When the need arose, he did appear apparently as a part of Vasudeva from the womb of Devaki. And he was called Krishna. And then his purpose in life, his mission in life was to support, protect the Brahminhood, the teachership of religion. If that is kept up, all other parts of the society will follow the religion properly. And then he taught that both types of religion, Pravrutti and Nivrutti Lakshana Dharma, to Arjuna, who was eminently fit for receiving that. And in that connection, we saw several stories of Arjuna also. And then Bhagavan has two meanings. The Lord himself, according to Vishnu Puran, the Lord himself, who has 6 characteristics permanently, and also he has 6 types of knowledge permanently. But the Bhagavan word is applied to one person who has the 6 types of knowledge, and that is Krishna Dvaipayana Veda Vyas. And as Bhagavan taught Arjuna, so Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas wrote down in a essay, in a poetical essay of 700 verses. And then it is as a very deep meaning. And to bring out that meaning, many people have tried pada, padartha, vakyartha, meaning of the words and sentences, and yet the result I see, Shankar says, is that people in general have taken opposite meanings of Gita. And so will try to comment on the basis of Viveka, what is real and what is unreal, what is permanent and what is temporary, what is good for mankind and what is bad for mankind. And then he says, what are the Anubandhas for Bhagavad Gita? The Prayojan is, of course, perfection, the permanent season of this rotation round and round which man is undergoing, along with its causes. And then that can happen, the sambandha, that can happen only by giving up all actions, which simply means giving up the doership consciousness. And you will get knowledge, the experience of the reality. And then if you be steadfast on that, then I, the experiencer, will also dissolve. And that is how you will get the permanent mukti. Then he says, what about the pravritti lakshana dharma, which also he has taught to Arjuna? And there he says, pravritti lakshana dharma is normally for obtaining heaven and the company of gods, but if done without that desire, and if done by surrendering the fruits, surrendering the doership to God, then it leads to two things. Purification of the mind, resulting in the birth of knowledge, which means experiencing God, and also fitness to remain firm in that. And then through this firmness in jnana, he will get the ultimate mukti. So this purification which is given by karma also can be said to be leading to the absolute goal. That is why it has been taught. And then he says, what is the subject matter? And he says there are two subject matters. One is this cultivation of the knowledge of the absolute reality, which is one's real nature, plus the special point of Gita is this Parabrahman, which has assumed the form of Vasudeva's son, the son of man. He is the special subject matter of the Gita. His nature has been revealed in this Gita. So that is how he says, because the explanation of this will lead to the permanent result for mankind, I am trying to comment. These were the salient points of Shankar's introduction to the Gita. And then we read the first shloka. Let us read it again. In between, we also saw why it is called Bhagavad Gita in the very beginning. And that with the help of the shloka in the 13th chapter, we saw that this is not emotion, it is a deep experience in the heart being communicated to others, which is of the nature of a guarantee and full of reason. Then Dhritarashtra Uvacha. Prathama Adhyaya Dhritarashtra Uvacha. And we saw this we will get this in the form of Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvad. Then why this Dhritarashtra? Because when we say Shri Krishna taught it to Arjuna, we must know the characteristics of Arjuna special, and that can be properly assimilated only when they are shown in contrast with the ordinary run of humanity or the opposite nature of the bad humans. And so the first example is taken as Dhritarashtra. He says, my sons and Pandu's sons. He could have said, my sons, and they are also my sons. Or at the most, he could have said, my sons and my nephews, But he says, my sons and Pandus, this is the Veda Buddhi. This is the leads to every bad quality in man. The more we differentiate between mine and non-mine, we will go to hell. And so, in contrast with that, we'll see what Arjuna is. And also, Dhritarashtra has a faint hope that his sons are committing mistakes. But he hopes somehow or other they will win. And he thinks that Yudhishthira at least, having gone to that Kurukshetra, which is the land of religion, marked by the ancestor Kuru, going there, he will feel upsurge of religious sentiment and he will say, we will not fight. But nothing of that is going to happen. And say, what did they do? That is what he asked Sanjay, who was given the powers by Vedavyas himself, to see and hear everything that is happening at the battlefield. Now, historically, if you see, on the 10th day, Bhishma fell down on the bed of arrows. Though he did not pass away that day, but almost like that, he has been killed, he has been slain. And that Sanjay has seen in the battlefield itself. Excitedly, sorrowfully, he runs to the palace and says, oh, the great Bhishma is killed, the great Bhishma is killed. And Dhritarashtra asked him hundreds of questions regarding that. And finally, he comes to this question. And then, because he has asked Sanjay, now let us read what reply Sanjay gives. Sanjay is the model of a neutral man. As the running commentators in cricket or in many sports, or when an event is being described, we find they just narrate what is happening. So that is the position of Sanjay here. So Sanjay, uvacha, drishtva tu pandava nikam vyudam duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. The syntax will be Raja Duryodhan tada pandava nikam vyudam drishtva Acharyam upasangamya vachanam idam. Add idam vachanam abravi. The king Duryodhan, now here another character comes called Duryodhan. And we will see a great contrast between Arjuna and Duryodhan. So Duryodhan, seeing the Pandavas' army, Anikam is army. Pandava, Nikam, Pandava's army. Vyudham, arranged in a particular way. By he saw that the Pandava's army has been arranged in a particular way for giving the battle. He went near his Acharya who taught him archery, who was the official archery teacher and teacher of everything to both Kauravas and Pandavas. Now, and spoke to him like that. Now here there is a big catch point. Let us understand, it was unanimously decided among the Kauravas that the captain-in-chief for this war will be the grandsire Bhishmacharya. And if Duryodhan feels any doubt, then he should have gone to Bhishmacharya. Why he went to his Acharya? So there is a lot of cunning in the mind of Duryodhana. Because Bhishmacharya had promised, I will fight tooth and nail and not allow these Pandavas to win. But Bhishma was given to righteousness. and his vows. He was fighting on the Kaurava side because he had taken a vow that whoever is here in Hastinapur, I will be supporting him throughout my life. Only because of that vow he was fighting on Kaurava's side. But he was a man of righteousness, extreme righteousness. And he was understanding at every point that Pandavas are righteous, not Duryodhana. And this was known to Duryodhana very well. Both the things he has promised because of his tremendous vow. You know, his name was Deva Vrata. He was called Bhishma because of his terrible vows. And one of the terrible vows was, I will not marry. I am not telling the causes. And one of the terrible vows was, I will support throughout my life till the last breath whoever is on the Hastinapur throne. And so, but yet Duryodhana, because of his selfishness, because of his crookedness, he had some doubt whether Bhishmacharya will suddenly not side the Pandavas because he knows their right. Duryodhana also knows their right, but for him, right and wrong is not the consideration. I want to win the war. That was his only consideration. Now, Dronacharya, on the other hand, was a paid teacher. And so, Duryodhana thought that he will never give up because he is a paid teacher. He is our servant, maybe teacher, but is paid by us, paid by, at that point, by the Kauravas, by Dhritarashtra, and so he will never forgive us. One point. Second point, people say that as a man runs to his mother, so Guru is almost as near as mother. Whatever may be the point, but instead of going to Bhishma, he went to his teacher. That shows some crooked element in him, and it will become still more clear in the next shloka. So, to the Dronacharya he spoke. What he spoke? He has gone to his guru to seek support, and he will taunt him in the next shloka. That is his wisdom. All his wisdom is in crookedness because of his selfishness. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupadaputrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. See this, the army of the sons of Pandu, same difference. Not my brothers or my cousins, sons of Pandu. Tada Duryodhana, no, that was last shloka. Pashya etam Panduputrana Mahatim Chamum, the big army. O Acharya, O my teacher, Drupada Putrena. So we require some history here. Drupada was a king. Drona was a poor Brahmin, and they went to learn from the same teacher. They learned under the same teacher, and there, because they were small boys, they made friendship. And Drupada had told, because he was the king's son, so Drupada had told, later on, if you require anything, I shall give you. Now Drona grew up as a very poor Brahmin. He could not feed his son, Ashwatthama, very dear to him, with milk, cow's milk. And so his wife, Ashwatthama's mother, would mix rice powder into water, make it appear white, and give that as milk. That was the poor condition. But he was tremendous in his archery. And so he required a cow. And he remembered his friend Drupada went to him and said, you had promised you will give whatever I want. I just want a cow to feed my son with milk. And Drupada refused. Drupada, because he was the king, got that arrogance, got that sense that how can we be friends? He is a poor Brahmin, I am a king. So he said, nothing doing. I will not give any cow. You get away. You are a poor Brahmin. How can you hope to be equivalent to me and my friend? This was the insult Drona had given. Drupada had given to Drona. Then what Drona did? Pandavas and Kauravas had another teacher at that time, Kripacharya. And Kripacharya was brother-in-law to Dronacharya. Now when they were playing Pandavas and Kauravas together, Dronacharya stood on that scene. And their ball or that viti, we say, they play with sticks. In India, like cricket, Deshi cricket, they hit a small piece of wood with a big piece of wood, and that small piece of wood fell in a well. And they were all feeling sorry. Dronacharya picked up some straw or something and hit it in such a way that after 2-3 strokes, that came up. They were extremely impressed. Kripacharya took him to Dhritarashtra and said, better appoint him, he is much superior to me. And Dhritarashtra, on the testimony of his sons and that of Kripacharya, appointed him. That is how he was the paid teacher. Now what he did, first he trained all of them. And then Arjuna became his favorite because of his concentration. Whatever Drona could tell, he could immediately adopt that. So, after training, it is necessary. They don't take fees in advance. After training is complete, what you want, sir? And he will tell what he wants. That is the method. So he told Arjuna, you please go and defeat that Drupada. Catch him, arrest him and bring him to me. Because he has humiliated me, I want to take revenge on that very thing. And Arjuna was able to do that. And Drona said, I don't want anything from you. I just wanted to show the revenge of what I can do for you. You go and have your kingdom. Because now he was well cared for. And then Drupada, the sworn enemy of Dronacharya, had a son, Drishtadyumna. And some books say that he was the supreme commander, but we do not feel like that. He was specialist in arrangement of the army, and that he had learned from the Dronacharya only. Dronacharya was expert in so many branches of war, and in that included the arrangement methods also. And Drishtadyumna had specialized in that. And so the Pandavas asked Drishtadyumna to arrange their army. Now, without taking the name of Drishtadyumna, Duryodhana is taking the name of his father Drupada to remind that your enemy's son, and he calls him Dhimata, an intelligent boy, and he learned from you. So apparently meaning you are a fool. You are taught your enemy's son, and now he is fighting with you. So this is a taunt actually. By taking not Drishtadyumna's name. Because any person Dronacharya is teaching could have tried Drishtadyumna, but your enemy's son, and intelligently he learned from you and you taught him. This is the taunt, and that reveals Duryodhana's nature. So we are learning Duryodhana's nature, and we will see in contrast Arjuna's nature will shine. So Tava Shishya, your disciple, Dhimata, intelligent disciple, Drupada Putre, by the son of your sworn enemy Drupada. Vyudam arranged. Now, he is showing him, see, how many heroes are there. And we have to deal with these big heroes. And in Duryodhana's mind, there are no better heroes than Bhima and Arjuna. Bhima by his physical powers and Arjuna by his expertise in warfare. They are the only worth consideration. And so, Atra, in this army, Shura, Maheshwasa, Bhimarjuna Samayudhi. And it takes names. That is, in this army, you see, equivalent to Bhima and Arjun in war, there are many Maharathis. Ishwasa, that is, people with big bows, meaning Maharathis, the great charioteers. So he takes the name of Bhima and Arjun because everybody in Kaurava's side were afraid of Bhima and Arjun. And there he takes the name. Yuyudhano Viratascha Drupadascha Maharatha Drishtaketuschekitana Kashirajascha Viryavan Purujit Kunti Bhojascha Shaibyascha Narapungavaha Yudhamanyuscha Vikranta Uttamojascha Viryavan Saubhadro Draupadeyascha Sarve Eva Maharatha. Yudhan is a name, nickname of Satyaki. Satyaki was Krishna's friend and Arjuna's disciple. And he was counted as one of the great warriors. We'll see during Mahabharata war, one day it was full of Satyaki's heroism. And so his nickname was Yudhan. He is taking that as the first name. Equivalent to Bhima and Arjun is this Yudhan, this Satyaki, who is almost equal to Arjuna. And then Virat. Virat is the king where the Pandavas lived incognito and they helped him to regain his cows. He became a sworn enemy of the Kauravas and great friend with Pandavas. And he was also a great warrior. And Drupada, we know Draupadi's father, who after this insult by Dronacharya, what he did a great sacrifice, Yajna. And out of that, he was praying, I should get a son who can kill Drona. I want to get a daughter whom I shall marry with the best archer in this world, and so that on my side we will fight with Drona. So from the fire, it is said that a grown-up son and daughter were born, Drishtadyumna and Draupadi. Draupadi name is only Drupada's daughter. She was also called Yajnaseni, born from the fire. Panchali. Panchal was the name of his kingdom. And Krishna was her other real name because she was somewhat dark in complexion, but most beautiful girl of those days, brilliant. And so that Drupada, your sworn enemy, the father of Draupadi, Maharatha. Maharatha is word has come now. Maheshwasa means people wielding great bows. Now, Maharatha, great charioteer. This was a technical word, meaning single-handedly he can fight such and such number of army. It is called Maharatha. So, technically Maharathas and equivalent to Bhima and Arjun, Drushtaketu, other names are there of famous warriors of that time. Chikitan, Kashi, the king of Kashi, was a famous archer. So Kashi Raj, instead of giving the name, he said the king of Kashi. Viryavan, valorous, Purujit, Kunti Bhoj, Shaibya, Narapungava is another qualification. Pungava means male cow, means bull. And in those days, we'll find throughout Gita, Bhagavan calling Arjuna as Pungav. Bhishma, Dhritarashtra is called Pungav. So, the bull was never a derogatory word. The best, powerful, virulous among men. That is the meaning. Pungava. Literally it means the male cow, means the bull. Narapungava, the heroes amongst men. Yudhamanyu and Vikranta, Uttamoja, Vireva, powerful. Saubhadro. Arjuna had more than one wife who is found in the first day, and one of his dear wife Subhadra was Krishna's sister. And her son, very young, almost a child, but he had earned his name. He was trained by Krishna, by Balaram, and all those people. And so, Balaram, Krishna's brother, and he was a very famous fighter. So his name, Duryodhana is taking Saubhadra, son of Subhadra. Draupadi Ashrama. Draupadi had 5 sons from the 5 Pandavas. So they are all very great heroes. So also Draupadi is Draupadi's son. Sarve eva Maharatha. Whoever name I have taken are all Maharathas. Technically, this is what. No, Dronacharya is seeing everything. And he also knows them. But Duryodhana is counting them to show with whom we have to fight. These great people like Bhima and Arjuna have to fight. So be alert. Then he thinks, I described too much the other side. He himself felt nervous by describing them. And so he wants to describe his own fighters. They are not less. Asmakam tu visheshtaye tan niboda dvijottama mamaka nayaka mama sainyasya samgyartham tan bravimite. For your knowledge, I am telling you, oh, superior Brahmin. Why you should call him Brahmin? He has come to fight war. He is a teacher of archery, of warfare, and yet he is calling, oh, superior among Brahmins. This is also a soft taunt. Please mind you, you are a Brahmin, but here your Brahmin would not do. You have to fight. Asmakam, ours, Vishishtaye, very special only I will describe, just to gain his own confidence and show to his acharya that I am not afraid, though he was afraid inside. Tan Nibodha, please know them. My captains of my army, for your knowledge, I am telling you their names. Bhavan, no, he does not take first name of Bhishma. He praises him. That is also a policy. Bhavan, you, revered sir, Bhishmascha, and also Bhishma, Karnascha. Karna was known as a son of a charioteer, Sutavatra. But in valor, he was just equivalent to Arjun or maybe superior. And he was the, other than those two great people, he was the main support taking which Duryodhana was fighting. Karnascha. Krupascha is previous teacher. Samitinjaya means always victorious in war. That he gives qualification of Krupacharya. Ashwatthama, Dronacharya's son, he knew the Brahmastra even. Vikarna, Vikarna he has mentioned specially, one of his own brothers. Why? Vikarna opposed any wrongdoing of Duryodhana. When they were playing with the modesty of Draupadi, Vikarna had opposed it. But when it came to fighting, he said, I will fight on my brother's side. So he is a very special hero. He is mentioned Vikarna, Somadatti, son of Somadatta, Tathaivacha also. Now he counts only 4 or 5. Annecha Bhava Shura, Madarthe Takta Jivita. Here his character has come out fully. Many other heroes, Nana Shastra Prarana, Sarve Yuddha Visharada, they are carrying various weapons and all of them are expert in war. They have given up their life for me. So in Duryodhana's mind, the war, not righteous or unrighteous, for my sake. For my sake. And this is known to both Pandavas and Kauravas and to everybody. Why there is war? After all their dice and their results, the kingdom, half the kingdom, could have easily gone back to Pandavas. Easily, that was the determined. But Duryodhana said, even earth equivalent to stand on the tip of a needle I shall not give unless you fight for it. So that was the extreme selfishness, arrogance, power love of Duryodhana. And that is being shown as opposite character to Arjuna. And that necessitated the war. If you knew, even if you go back, after sending Pandavas to the forest, the good people, the rishis, the scholars, Brahmins, they started going to the forest because they liked Yudhishthir. They liked talking with Yudhishthir. And this gave burning jealousy in Duryodhana's mind. Duryodhana wanted to further humiliate them. Very important story I am telling. Duryodhana wanted to humiliate them and feel that he is great. And so he took a royal procession, pomp and show, military power and all that. He went in that forest. He wanted to pass in front of Pandavas so that they will feel humiliated. See what poor condition we have and how big he is. But this was thwarted. Arjuna had gone to heaven, we know. There are people called Gandharvas who have special powers. They live in subtle bodies and all that. And Indra, Arjuna's father, actual father, physical father, king of gods. Indra had a friend among those Gandharvas named Chitraratha. So Indra saw all this And he told Chitraratha, please do something to counter-humiliate Duryodhana. So Chitraratha the Gandharva went with so many heavenly damsels to a lake on the way. And they freely removing their clothes outside, were taking bath there. Now Duryodhana was going that side. And he is filled with arrogance because he wants to show that arrogance to the Pandavas. So he said, we will take bath here. The guards prohibited them. No, women are taking bath, we shall not allow you to go. And there was a war. And in that war, his most valorous friends and ill advisors, Shakuni, his maternal uncle, who had that crooked dice he had played, Dushasan, his next brother, whom he counted as a great hero, and Karna, because of which he will separate the war later, they ran away from the Gandharvas. They ran away, leaving Duryodhana alone. And this fellow, Chitraratha, caught Duryodhana, tied him to his own chariot. And people seeing that Pandavas were near about, so they went shouting, oh, king is imprisoned, king is imprisoned. Yudhishthir was a man of a very different type. He told Bhima and Arjun, go and get him released immediately. They said, why? When he is opposing us, why worry about it? He said, no. We are 5, they are 100, we know. And there is maybe going to be a war between us. But if third party opposes us, we are 105, remember. That is Yudhishthira. We are 105, we are brothers. We will not have one thing. Secondly, without a king, there is anarchy, and anarchy is not good for society. So for these two reasons, I did, and they all knew Yudhishthira's value. He was the eldest brother and he was the most righteous person, his thinking. And so they were great heroes, but they will obey and follow whatever Yudhishthira says. So they had to obey. They came and they fought with Chitraratha. They were really heroes. Chitraratha says, they said, leave the king. He said, I recognize only one king, that is Yudhishthira, the real king. And you people are terrible. I will not leave in your hands. I will take him in this very condition in front of Yudhishthira. A great story I am telling. So that counter-humiliation he should undergo. And he brought him in that condition before. Yudhishthira could not see. Yudhishthira never called him Duryodhana. Duryodhana means one who is hard to fight with. But Yudhishthira always called him Suyodhana, a great warrior. Maybe same meaning, but he could not say Dur, the bad. That was his mind. And he used to call him Suyodhana. And he could not see that. He told Chitraratha, release him, release him, release him immediately. And he was released. He came back a little and sat in one place. Absolutely depressed, I want to die. His friends who had run away, they came back. Oh, king, you are valorous, you got... He said, not that. If any of you possess poison, give me immediately. I don't want to live 1 second. He describes the man whom I have behaved as an enemy all my life and who has no ill feeling towards me. Such a person. And I have to get released at his hands. What can be more humiliating than that? I want to die. They pumped him up. O king, these things happen in life, up and down, up and down. Then Duryodhana says, I cannot live in peace. I see Yudhishthira killed. That is Duryodhana. That is Duryodhana's nature. He knows Yudhishthira's value. And what he feels, only humiliated. Only quality is ego. I want this. I want power. And he described with whom I always behaved as enemy and who never behaved as enemy to me. And now any other person, tell me, any other person in the world would have feel fully obliged and let us not fight any war and you take your kingdom. I feel sorry, but that is not Duryodhana. And because of this Duryodhana only, the war is there. So that was the great story. Madarte Takta Jivita. All of them, he has counted 4 or 5 and says many, many like them. Great warriors, expert in war, heroes, and they have given up their life for me. Madarte Takta Jivita. Given up hope for life, given up life for my sake, Madarte. They are carrying very weapons and they are all survey. All of them have given up their life for my sake. Because I want to rule. Because I want to say I am great. Because the war is for me. And they have come to help me. They have given up the hope of their life for my sake. This reveals Duryodhana's character in full. For him, the only consideration is I. Then he says, Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishma virakshitam paryaptam tidametesham balam bhima virakshitam. Here I want to tell something. In Indian languages, following Sanskrit itself, paryapta means sufficient. Aparyapta means insufficient. But that is not the meaning here. Paryapta means limited. Aparyapta means unlimited. So, by numbers, his side was 11 Akshainis, any unit, and Pandavas were 7 Akshainis. Righteous people got 7 Akshainis to fight for them, and the bad people have got 11 Akshainis. So, his meaning is that ours is unlimited, not limited. That is the meaning. Aparyaptam, unlimited. We may literally say circumscribed, not uncircumscribed. Anyway, unlimited. That is the meaning. Please don't think that he is telling that ours is insufficient and there is sufficient. He does not want to feel like that. He wants to feel he is going to win. Though internally he may be afraid, but he wants to show that he will win. And he is talking all this in front of his teacher. Paryaptam too, but limited is theirs. Idam, this etesham of the other people. Balam, now 2 more words are here. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam. Balam means force, an army. Police force we say, police bal. So balam means army. Our army protected by Bhishma. So here it says Bhishma is the captain in chief. And there Bhima is the captain in chief. Now later on we will see something. And the Pandavas' arrangement was something special. There were several captains and the captain-in-chief will be Bhima, but super captain-in-chief will be Arjuna. And above Arjuna, there will be Bhagavan Shri Krishna. That was the Pandavas' arrangement. We shall see as we go. But Duryodhana may not be knowing or does not care. He knows that commander-in-chief is Bhima. So this army protected by Bhima is limited. Our army protected by the great Bhishma is unlimited. That is how he wants to feel and show to his teacher. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthita Bhishmameva virakshantu bhavantas sarva evahi. Now he's telling something to his teacher as if he does not know it. In the war, the method is that captain-in-chief is the protector of the entire army and he is the person to fight. All of you have to help him, support him. That is the arrangement in the war. So he's telling that to his teacher. Ayaneshu cha sarveshu. In this battlefield, amongst all, yatha bhagam avasthita. They were all arranged already. They were also having his other arrangement. Some man here, some man here, some man in charge of that, some man in charge of south, some man in charge of front. So you have to stand where you have been asked to stand, but protect Bhishma. All of you should pay attention in protecting Bhishma. Standing at your proper places. Bhishmam eva abhirakshantu bhavanta. Now, in the end, he said, great revered sirs, sarve eva. All of you revered sirs, standing in your own places, please protect Bhishmacharya. There ends Duryodhana's speech, revealing his nature fully well. Especially the war has fought for me, and all of them have given up their lives for me, and our army is unlimited, their army is limited, you please protect. Their army protected by Bhima, ours protected by the great warrior Bhishma, you all should protect Bhishma standing in your own. That ends his speech to Dronacharya. Now, one important point we shall take up on Thursday. But all this talk was going on in the hearing of Bhishmacharya. So it's a double-edged weapon. He is showing Bhishma that you see, you please don't go against us. I praise you also, and I have told my teacher about all of these things. So you please don't swerve from your duty. And we'll find Bhishma falls in the trap. A great warrior who has hundreds of wars in his lifetime, but he falls a prey here, and he officially declares war by blowing his own shell. Aggressor, that we shall see on the Thursday evening. So today we went through several stories. Dhritarashtra we have seen Saturday. Today, Duryodhana's character in his own words and actions we have seen. And now we'll see what Bhishma did, what happened, and what Arjuna did, all that. Arjuna's character will come out in the following portion. So today we had a lot of narratives, not philosophy, but narrative showing the characters. Om Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraikapanaye Jnanamudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanam.
प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः।